All right, folks, good afternoon and welcome on back. Continuing our day, closing out our week this Friday, January 29th. In fact, as I said yesterday, actually closing out our month. Welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Should be good to go across both boards here. Loud and clear from John, David, and Bonnie asking about Bitcoin here. We'll talk about that in a moment. We ended up posting the picture just before inside the live trading room. Great to see all of us, though. Michael, Leda, Lori, Renzo, David, James as well. Perfect. All right. And for all of us joining on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube, welcome on back. Hey, a lot of vaccine talk today, right? I think the news came out this morning regarding Johnson & Johnson. Lack of efficacy, at least there. I think it's like 66% effective. And with that, I mean, we ended up seeing not just Johnson & Johnson dive off, but we've seen a lot of these, COVID vaccine stocks that we've been trading over the last several months move up and up today. So, hey, I&O and Ovio Pharmaceuticals, we've been following the stock, I mean, really back from February, March, but you could even see on the daily chart, just back from Wednesday of this past week, we saw it squeeze up. Tuesday, it actually started to make that push. So this was not to say specifically grouped with like GameStop and all of those. However, it does have pretty high short interest. I was reading that website, highshortinterest.com, and you scroll down a little bit, it's near the top. So this I&O trade was squeezing up early in pre-market, more so after 8 o'clock Eastern time. We ended up catching this really after the market opened, right off the first breakout from 1250. That was the opening bell print. But going into the late morning, you could see it bounced from 12 and moved up. It's just been a very good day trade, at least, so long as you follow the right levels, the 50-cent levels and whole numbers. Our focus was, to be honest, more so on the VXRT trade throughout the morning. I was following the I&O more heading into the early afternoon, but VXRT, another vaccine stock, ended up making a huge move up once again today. So similar move as I&O, popped as soon as the market opened up, but much stronger trend throughout the morning. Squeezed up gradually up towards 1150, and then broke out nicely from there. So for the meantime here, it seems to be trying to hold over support over like that last breakout here, basically 1145, 1150. If it could break back over 1150, I would be interested in seeing it hold support over that price and for it to run much back up, not to say break a new high of the day, but perhaps at least see 12 again. So I don't mind slipping the VXRT kind of on our side list to begin. The I&O trade I tend to like more at this time right now. I feel like it's kind of closer towards that breakout 13 level, unless if it just dived off a little bit. Yeah, it's diving back a little bit right now. I was more hopeful to see this squeeze up towards 13 heading into the afternoon. All right, maybe we'll check back in with both of these just at the very end here. I mean, I love the VXRT still. I just want to see if there's anything looking even better, more promising perhaps. All right, so I will say, though, we ended up seeing Bitcoin make a huge pop overnight. I know that Fausto was talking about that briefly during the morning briefing, the morning meeting there. Riot ended up taking a nosedive today. I mean, more so profit taking across Bitcoin as soon as the market opened up, and thus you saw a drop-off within the markets entirely, the Dow and the S&P. So Riot was actually a great short as soon as the market opened up. I wish I ended up jumping in. I wanted to jump in, and I'll tell you this, I just, kicking myself obviously now at this point for not. But when I saw Bitcoin begin to break lower heading into the mid-morning, it was roughly around like 22. I think it was even like 22.10. I was contemplating this, lower high here or higher low here and saying, it's probably going to break down if Bitcoin's moving. I didn't pull the trigger. It's so shaky minute by minute. It maintained a very slick trend off the high. So that's where I could say just, I'm kicking myself for not pulling the trigger on that. And, for the meantime here, Bitcoin still seems to be pulling back. I mean, the markets are kind of rounding off right now. I was going to say lower highs, but kind of higher high over the last like 20 minutes, the Dow, but pulling back down here. So for the afternoon, it would be a great opportunity to try and follow the Dow, the S&P, follow the markets, as we like to say collectively. We'll check in with some of the airlines, the cruise line stocks in a moment. Some other Bitcoin stocks I was pretty hyped up to see trade this morning. Unfortunately, they just went the other way. FTFT, we all know Mara, at least I didn't show that, but BTBT, another one, GRNQ. These are all stocks over the last, 2 months, I'd say 1 to 2 months, where we've seen big news come out on them. We've seen big runs or pops, and, they were active in pre-market with Bitcoin, but man, they all fell off. So it's a shame. All right, so what we'll do, folks, is go from top to bottom here. I wanted to go over just those briefly, and then from there, we'll kind of just scan through, see what we have heading into the end of the week. We'll say right off the bat, VXRT I have up on my other screen right now. it broke back over 1150 already. So maybe I do slip that on our list here at the end. The SIEB, you knew this was going to be a dump right away. I mean, literally, it was dumping off heading into the open. That is your biggest clue. But, once this gets halted on the way down, even here once, game over. That's it. I'm not even trying to trade that thing. AMST is probably going to end up looking like SIEP probably in 30 minutes or less. Halted on the way up right now, just very thin volume traded across the day. Just for the end of the week, not really too interested. Did really good on Wednesday myself. Thursday, yesterday, actually the morning was bad, and then yesterday the afternoon was decent. I ended up still having a negative day, but not nearly as much as I thought I was going to be negative. So with today up, listen, I'm not trying to risk anything. Why would I try and just give back at that point? Unless if it's going to charity. But I don't think it is if I take a loss here in the stock market. All right, so we also had the news out. I guess it's perfect timing since I'm rolling up to AMC and GME here. So, folks, you probably know a little bit more than me. I'm sure one or two of us do, but I skimmed on Benzinga here quickly before I started the meeting just to get an update on all of that. So Robinhood, what happened? They ended up allowing trading on GME and GameStop. I think they only did it in very small quantity shares. If I'm not mistaken, Rich L in the chat board, he posted, I think that Robinhood is allowing traders to take 2 shares. Is that right or wrong? I looked on Benzinga. I thought I saw that. They're allowing 2 shares per position. I don't know if that's per client or per position, but either way, we ended up seeing a big drop off heading into the early afternoon. The market opened really, but at that point, I wouldn't have expected it to break out much higher and run back up. So you might get a nice little squeeze here up to 13 and above on AMC. GameStop, I know that there's some options expirations here for all of these heading into the end of the month. So you might see, volatility from that. GME bouncing from 250 perfectly here right now. A little scalp move, but yeah, I'm not as interested in those. Heading into the market open today, I told myself when I was kind of prepping up my notepad, I'm like, what gives me the best opportunity to make money? Do I know for certain what these stocks are going to do? I guess I never know for certain what any stock's going to do, but, do I feel more certain on this as I would on the VXRT or, any of the others that we ended up trading from this morning? Even, hell, the LMFA here, actually, number 11. This didn't make for the greatest trade up until the early afternoon, but it made for a nice bounce. This was much easier to read. I knew this would drop off as soon as the market opened up, given how much it was up percentage-wise, but also it was trending down heading into the open. So, once it pulled back and broke below support off of 275 it was, or 270, that was it. So I ended up catching this off the bounce right from 195, and then from 2, I did like 2 separate positions, in and out quick. I ended up letting some profit slip away here off the top. I got out right off of like 223 here at first. All right, we keep it pushing. What else do we have here, folks? We got the INO, of course. I said I'll jump back to that at the end. Shipping stock here, tops, and teaser. Pop and drop, collectively, but it looks like it could have made a good move. I didn't follow this at least earlier this morning. I was caught up on some other trades. Same to be said on Express, though. Like I said on AMC and GameStop, probably see a little volatility heading into the end of the close here today, but that doesn't always provide certainty. I like volatility if it provides at least some certainty with like level identification with the move altogether. I just think that there are better trades so far. All right. Actually, you know what? As I say that, I should probably correct myself because as I went through the whole gainers list, I didn't put a single stock on our main watch list. I said we watch VXRT and INO. Oh, man. Actually, we have nothing so far. All right. So maybe we just jump to some side list stocks at the end, like the airlines, the cruise lines, if they're going to move with the market, perhaps. Folks, this goes across the board for all of us on social media. Of course, all of us live in the trading room. Let me know. Let me know if there's anything that you see up or down that you would want me to check out. Open game here. Probably slap VXRT on our watch list just given the move back over 1150. So I guess we'll say we have one on our list officially now, I guess. DQ. I always think it's Dairy Queen every time. All right. Either way, pretty expensive. All right. VXRT is over 1150. So long as it holds over 1150 and breaks this trend line off the highs, I think that we're good. So I'll put this on our watch list for right now. From Ron, he's asking about Space, SPCE, another high short interest stock that was pumped up over the last few days. Probably like one of the most or one of the highest short interest stocks out there, like GameStop, this, and AMC. Very volatile, right? So if you do well on it, Ron, then I'd say probably follow it yourself. But I wouldn't be as keen to put this on the main list for everybody just yet. Same line as like AMC, GameStop, all of them. Michael asking, did you ever take a trade on your X US Steel? I did not, but I'll tell you, it's down 5%. It's not down enough to make the top of the losers list, I guess, with this crazy market, but it looks mighty good right now, Mike. I mean, hey, we'll try and follow it on the way down heading into the close. Either way, still seems to provide good direction and decent volume traded per minute. So you sold me. I got it. Cool. SGRP from Wendy, up 38%, just popping right now. So I'm not looking at my Benzinga Pro right now. So good call. This would have popped up, I'm sure. SGRP, it trades about like 250,000 shares a day on average, let's say. Probably less even. Yeah, 218 prior to today. Popping up beautifully though right now. So be careful of the spread, but otherwise has good volume on the book. I want to check the float on this. This might just be one of these like low float pump and dumps from like yesterday. We saw all of them move yesterday. And when I say move, not really that well on the way up. Just all up things, sharp down. SGRP. 7.99 million share float. Relatively low. All right, we'll put it on our list, though. Definitely a good call. And see if spreads tighten up, if this provides a steady move up still. Is MTEX a pump and dump? I'm getting asked from David here in our trading room. Yeah, I'd say so at this point. Moved from like 185 up to 235, dumped all the way back down at 2. Talking 50 cents on the way up, 35 cents on the way down. Pretty exhausted. Now, that was my concern about VXRT. I mean, you're talking about exhaustion. Like this moved up, moved down, but this provides more volatility. So that's where I was saying, so long as this holds the 1150 and moves up, we could see more opportunity on this trade in terms of like how many cents per share you can make. There we go, Ron. I knew it. So Ron was asking about Space, so he was in it. There you go. Picked up $1 on it from 44. He was out at 45. All right, cool. For anyone on YouTube, I see from Nicole asking or saying they are not closing out any calls or puts expiring today. Yesterday, I striked on RIG. That was actually a stock that we were trading yesterday. Well, I mean, within the week, up back on Wednesday, then tanked yesterday. They did not recognize the sell. Geez, Nicole, what broker are you using? I'm sure that's across the board, across several brokers. Just curious. Then from Hefe, he's saying, my bad, I'm new. I don't know if you covered already, but how do you feel about CATB? Ooh, all right, so let me jump to CATB. So this is also kind of like, it's not a full dump off just yet, but it's certainly making lower highs, pulling back down here. Yeah, I guess you can call it a dump off now, but it ended up making a beautiful move from earlier this morning. So that's where I'd normally say I wouldn't expect this to make like a clean move back up heading into the afternoon. Nah, Robinhood? Jeez. All right. Yeah, it's tough. I know that it's not just Robinhood. I mean, TD Ameritrade back on Wednesday limited things. I know Webull on Wednesday limited things. I think they opened things up yesterday afternoon, maybe after the bell even, but it's all over. I think TradeStation, they haven't restricted me or anyone that uses TradeStation, I don't think. I think E-Trade they may have restricted to a degree. Yeah, it's tough. That's why even this morning I was saying, like, to myself at least, and just said it before you to you folks, like, I'm not trying to trade stocks that I'm more uncertain of, right? The only thing for sure in this market is that nothing is for sure. And that goes across the board for any day of the week. And then, of course, given what we've seen this week, let alone. So, that's why I was more focused on the trade, INO this morning. I thought there was a much better chance of a move up that at least after the market opened up. Yeah, this looks pretty lackluster right now. That's why I was more interested in VXRT, at least between the two. All right, folks. So I think all in all, man, we got 3 stocks on our watch list. This might be the shortest list I've ever put out. in the 6 years I've been doing this. Latest saying, suppose BB BlackBerry is in recovery or still dropping. Could be making that same spike or move up as like Space, GameStop, AMC, etc. I feel like they're moving somewhat similarly, all of them. So at least this one has tighter spreads and more volume on the book. I was saying that to myself. Well, I was saying that to myself this morning, actually, out of all of them. And then more so yesterday afternoon. So, you know what? We're at a shortage of stocks to put on our main list. I don't mind putting this on for right now, BB. Looks a little bit easier to follow compared to the others. Got a pop on RIGL, says David. Really good call right here. You know, the thing on this trade, though, it's like fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. This thing popped and dropped on us earlier today, and I called it out. I didn't trade it, thank God, but like just I wanted to, and it came right back down after. It threw me off guard, and I mean, geez, I don't know what's happening here to this trade, but I guess I'll slip it on our watch list, right? like I said yesterday, we're not going to force ourselves to trade this if there's no trade after we finish up this meeting, but definitely a great call in terms of the spike. I hope to see a lot more from this point. Mario, I'll talk to you about Mara here once we finish up the meeting, but I'll be honest, all of those stocks don't seem to be too interesting to me heading into the close. I mean, Mara is like at support right now at 20, at 1190, or at 1990, the low of the day. I think 1990 is the closing bell print from yesterday too, even. We got a request on Sorrento SRNA. Unfortunately, I thought this was going to move up with VXRT and INO earlier today. I set up a stop limit order to buy over 1350, actually, this line that I pretty much have here. And I didn't get filled. I mean, it was pretty much right here. And once it pulled back under, I set the stop limit order just in case if it were to break out again and run with the rest, and it just didn't. So I don't know if there's any other news on Sorrento that differentiates from VXRT or INO, whatever it may be, but yeah, unfortunate. Can you short GameStop on TradeStation? I haven't checked. I haven't traded GameStop at all over the last week. I'm not touching that thing at all. So I haven't even attempted. Alrighty, folks, I'll tell you, I think that we have a decent list right now. If there's anything else that we try to call out, we'll try and scan for it heading into like 3 o'clock, 3:15 Eastern time, heading into the final hour of the day. All right, folks, for all of us on social media, first and foremost, have a great weekend. Hope everybody enjoys the weekend here. We'll see you folks back on Monday. But otherwise, as always, just make sure that you like, subscribe, notify right on our YouTube channel if you have not already. That would be youtube.com/cybertradingu. But the link right there below on the banner. Make sure that you sign up for our Cyber Group Trading Room Monday to Friday. Feel free to join us if you have not done so there. All right. For all of us live inside the trading room, I will jump back on the mic myself at 3:30. I know that Rich will jump on himself shortly after 3 o'clock. Take care.